Hello friends, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and support the channel.
History is full of moments that changed the fate of the world. But what if one of the greatest empires in history, the Roman Empire, had never fallen? Today, together, we enter a world where Rome still stands. Before we get to the video, don't forget to support. Like, comment, subscribe. One, politics and government. The Roman Empire had one of the first advanced systems of government. If it had survived, perhaps the world today would be living under a global government with unified laws. Democracy or global empire? Perhaps something like a combination of both. In the Roman Empire, which lasted from about 27 BC to 476 AD, despite many changes and ups and downs, almost the entire civilized world of the ancient West was politically united, and people lived in peace and tranquility for generations. Rome was the center, around which the then known and discovered world surrounded it on all sides. The empire consisted mainly of the coasts of the Mediterranean Sea, a sea that was the highway of transportation and communication, and with the exception of northern Gaul, now France, Britain, and the Rhine River Basin, no point in the empire was more than 200 miles away from these coasts. The Roman Empire included the ancient civilized world western Iran, including Egypt, Greece, Asia Minor, and Syria, each of which became a Roman province, and in none of them did Rome exert a deep influence except politically in its western territory, namely the present-day areas of Spain, Portugal, France, Switzerland, Belgium, Britain, Tunisia, Algeria, and Morocco. Although the Romans showed no mercy or compassion in their conquest, they were at least messengers of civilization. And in other words, they delivered to these backward areas the essence of ancient Greco-Roman civilization. The Romanization of these areas was so intense that Latin became the common language of the people in the Maghreb. Later, Arabic replaced Latin in Africa, but in other places, especially in France, Spain, Italy, and Portugal, distorted traces of Latin remain to this day. To prevent this cycle from repeating itself and to establish stability, the best elements of each of these forms must be taken and combined. Polybius believes that Logorgus, the Spartan legislator, provided such a provision for the 2. Religion and culture. Would the world's dominant religion still be Christianity? Or would Rome have kept its ancient gods? Perhaps the world would have had a mix of Roman rituals and modern beliefs today. Roman religion was a set of religious beliefs and practices that, in ancient Rome, served as the official religion of the Roman Empire, ending in the 4th century with the imperial edicts in favor of Christianity in 380, and the subsequent ban on all non-Christian religions except Judaism in 393, and finally disappearing in the 6th century. Roman religion included various imperial and provincial religious practices followed by both the Roman people and those they ruled. The Romans considered themselves highly religious and attributed their success as a world power to their collective piety in maintaining good relations with the gods. Their polytheistic religion is noted for its veneration of many gods. The presence of the Greeks on the Italian peninsula influenced ancient Roman culture and Etruscan religion from the beginning of the historical period, introducing some religious practices, such as the cult of Apollo, which became fundamental. Etruscan religion was particularly influential in astrology, which the Roman government used to seek the will of the gods. This ancient religion was also the foundation of the ancestral character, the way of the ancestors, or simply tradition, which was seen as the basis of Roman identity. Roman religion was a pragmatic religion, a contract between man and the gods based on the principle I give, that you, the gods, may give according to the dictionary of ancient Roman religion. The concept of religion depended more on the correct practice of prayer, rituals, and sacrifices than on faith or fixed and unchanging ideas. The presence of the Greeks on the Italian peninsula influenced ancient Roman culture and Etruscan religion from the beginning of the historical period, introducing some religious practices such as the cult of Apollo, which became fundamental. 3. Technology and science. The Romans were pioneers in engineering, road building, and architecture. If they hadn't fallen 1,000 years ago, perhaps we would have been introduced to solar energy in the Middle Ages, or the telephone and the internet would have been invented hundreds of years earlier. Early civilizations used simple canals and channels to meet their water needs, but the first true aqueduct was built by the Romans around 312 BC. An aqueduct is a large structure designed to transport significant amounts of water from one city to another, especially across valleys and great distances. Roman aqueducts supplied the water needs of many Roman cities and were used for irrigation, drinking, and, most importantly, sanitation. The Romans were famous for their public baths, many of which were supplied with water from these aqueducts. Roman aqueducts remained virtually unchanged for hundreds of years. While modern aqueducts have improved considerably, they still rely on the same basic principles that were used thousands of years ago. In fact, some ancient Roman aqueducts, such as the Aqua Virgo in Rome, are still in use today. Roman numerals. As you probably know, Roman numerals originated in the Roman Empire. The symbols used on clocks and in titles were part of a counting system that was widely accepted throughout their vast territory. The motivation behind this system was to create a standard mathematical system that was easy to learn and use. This new system provided the flexibility the Romans needed for efficient trade and communication. Unfortunately for the Romans, their number system was not sustainable. It was too imperfect for use in the modern world. For example, they had no symbol for zero and could not express fractions. For this reason, much of Christian Europe switched to Arabic numerals, which are still common in most Western languages today. The inventions of the Romans are a testament to the spirit of innovation and development that contributed to their power. 4. Wars and global relations. The Macedonian Wars were a series of wars fought in the Mediterranean between the Roman Republic and its Greek allies against the Kingdom of Greece. Ultimately, 6 conflicts occurred, including 4 wars in Macedonia, one against the Seleucid Empire, during which the Seleucid Empire was destroyed, and one against the Achaean Empire. These wars began in 214 BC and ended in 148 BC. The First Macedonian War began in 214 BC against Philip V of Macedon and ended in 205 BC. The Second Macedonian War followed the wars of the previous decade. It began in 200 BC and ended in 196 BC with the death of Philip of Macedon. The Third Macedonian War was fought from 171 to 168 BC between Rome and Philip's son, Perseus. Perseus was defeated, and the Macedonian Empire was divided into 4 parts, all under Roman rule. The Fourth Macedonian War began in 150 BC with revolts against Rome by Perseus' son. He was defeated in 148 BC. The Pyrrhic War began in 280 BC and ended in 275 BC, and was fought between Pyrrhus, king of Epirus, and the Roman Republic. Pyrrhus called on Greece to help defeat Rome. The war ended with a Roman victory, but both sides suffered heavy casualties. The Pyrrhic War was a warning to other empires that Rome could win a war, even with heavy losses, before they became part of the Latin Empire. Final article. Real history cannot be changed, but it can be learned from. Perhaps if Rome had not fallen, our world would have been more united, more advanced, or even...
Thank you for watching and supporting the video, and stay tuned for the next videos.